40. Kukunin natin yung Laplace transform ng second derivative minus the Laplace transform of y, no? And the Laplace transform of t from the table. Laplace transform of 1 over s. The Laplace transform of t, 1 all over s squared. Okay? Anong Laplace transform ng y squared? Second derivative. Tingnan ninyo yung formula natin, children. Hindi ba ang transform ng second derivative is simply s squared, the Laplace transform of y, minus the quantity. S is in decreasing order. Then you have here y a function of 0 plus s is decreasing order, ade wala ka ng s dito. While y function of 0, the order of derivative is increasing by 1. So, you have here first derivative of a function of 0. Okay? Ito yung Laplace transform ng second derivative. Okay? What about the Laplace transform of y? Ade, ano lang yun? Minus the Laplace transform of y equal to one all over s squared. Now, group all the terms containing Laplace transform of y and substitute all the known quantity. So we have here s squared, the Laplace transform of y minus the quantity, you have s, y function of 0. Ano yung y function of 0? Tingnan niya natin. Ayun, 1. Tapos first derivative 1 din. So if we're going to substitute, s times 1, then plus 1 minus the Laplace transform of y, 1 all over s squared. Okay? Then, group all the terms containing Laplace transform. Ito, so ito yung magiging s squared minus 1, common factor yung Laplace transform of y. Ito, itong dalawa na to. Then we have here minus the quantity s plus 1 equal to 1 all over s squared. But since we are interested on the function, no, lipat natin yung s plus 1. Doing so, we have s squared minus 1. The Laplace transform of y is equal to 1 all over s squared plus the quantity. Negative yun eh. When we transpose, it is positive. Such that dividing the whole equation by s squared minus 1, the Laplace transform of y is 1 all over s squared, then s squared minus 1. The other, we have here plus s plus 1 divided by s squared minus 1. Since we are interested on the y as a function of t, we have to take the inverse. Such that your y, the time domain, y a function of t, y a function of t is simply the inverse Laplace transform of the quantity, ano yun, 1 all over s squared, then s squared minus 1. Okay? Then, plus, you have here the quantity ito, no? Plus what? S plus 1, s squared minus 1. Meron na ba tayong ganyan na standard form? Simplify natin. Tingnan natin. So, we have the inverse Laplace transform. Ito pwede natin gawin ganito S squared. Yung S squared minus 1, pwedeng gawing S plus 1, S minus 1. Diba? Tapos ito, we have S plus 1, this linearity property, plus the inverse Laplace transform of S plus 1. It can be factored out as S plus 1, S minus 1. O de, cancel na yung S plus 1. Wala na tayong problema doon, ano? Pagpalitin ko pagpapalitin ko. So, ito yung magiging the inverse Laplace transform, cancel yon 1 all over S minus 1. Okay? Plus, ito, dito tayo magkakaproblema. It is not on the standard form. Ano ang kalalabasan niyo? Ito, pwede na consider natin yung first term. The Laplace transform of the inverse Laplace transform of 1 over S minus 1. Pwede mo itong gawin ganito na lang But take note that your S is actually S minus 1. And theorem number 2, first shifting theorem. Ano ba yung function of t wherein the Laplace is 1 over S? Ano? Ano yung function of t? Yes, go ahead.
1 po, sir.
1. 1. Kaya lang, hindi ba pagka gumamit tayo ng S equal to S minus A, meron tayong multiplier na E to the AT. So, ang A mo dito, 1. 1t. Ayun. What do I mean? What do I mean is that this part, itong part na ito, yung first term, pwede mo nang ibigay yung sagot. That is, ito the Laplace transform is E to the T. Ito na lang pangalawa. Okay na yung Oh. What have you observed? Any idea? What have you
Sir,
observed?
doon po sa may po,
Saan?
sa may 1 over S squared times S squared minus 1, pwede po bang i-distribute po si S squared doon po sa may naka-parenthesis?
Ganito magiging epekto pagka distribute natin. So you have 1 all over S to the 4th, then minus S squared. Pwede. What next?
Ano po sir, completing the square po?
Yeah. Ito yung magiging 1 all over S to the 4th. Ang completing the square applicable when the exponent of the second term is 1/2 the exponent of the first term. And squared, S squared, the exponent is 2. 2 is 1/2 of 4. Pwede, no? So ito yung magiging S to the 4th minus S squared. Take 1/2. 1/2 of coefficient of S squared to the second power, 1/4. Since we add 1/4, we have to subtract 1/4. So the result, it becomes a perfect trinomial, the factors of which S squared minus 1/2 quantity squared, then minus 1/4. Tama? Tama ba?
Opo sir.
What next? What next? Meron ba tayong standard form na ganyan? Tingnan niyo yung table, yung basic Laplace transform. Meron ba tayo doon? Ang alam ko, yung mga denominator natin S squared minus A squared, yung isa S squared plus A squared. Ito ba'y pwede nating palitan ng S lang? Kasi kung mapapalitan natin, ito ng S, pwede na ito dito. Dito, pwede na. Hyperbolic cosine or hyperbolic sine, depending upon on the numerator. Ang problema dito, kung pwede ba nating palitan ito ng S? Yung ang S natin ay magiging S squared minus 1 half. Hindi na kasi dun sa ating theorem number 2, linearity upward shifting theorem, the exponent of S is only 1. So magkakaproblema tayo doon sa part na yun. Okay? Okay na? Can we continue? Yun
Yes po, sir.
Yun yung magiging problema eh. Okay sana kung wala ito eh. Halimbawa, wala ito, pwede na yung first shifting theorem. Tama, first shifting theorem. Yun yung magiging problema natin. So, some more idea?
Sir,
Okay na.
partial fraction po.
Yun yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na general solution. Kasi tingnan natin, tingnan natin yung denominator. Na-factor out natin into linear factor eh. No? Kaya lang, itong S plus 1, it fall under case 1. Itong S minus 1, it fall under case 1. No? Baliktarin ko ha. Babaliktarin ko yung position. Yung S squared, sa halip na una, ilalagay ko dito sa huli para makita ninyo yung application ng partial fraction. Parehas din naman yan eh. So dito, okay na tong first term, So dito, magiging inverse Laplace transform. S plus 1 is a linear factor. One factor, there correspond a one partial fraction. So you have the A all over S plus 1. Okay? Then, plus, ito yung S minus 1 second factor. So you have the B all over S minus 1. Pagka nakuha natin yung value ng A and B, ade ano na ito, pwede mo nang makuha yung inverse Laplace transform. Okay? Do you follow? Tapos ito, paano yung S squared? Ito na yung ito na yung sinasabi ko sa inyong case 2 ng partial fraction. So you have here, let's make use of C. C all over S, then plus D all over S squared. Case 2. Itong part na ito, it fall under case 2. I hope you can follow. Okay na? So, teka ha. Tatanggalin ko yung bracket masyado na marami yung Ayan. Ang problema na lang, value ng A, B, C, and D. Pagka nakuha yung value ng A, B, C, and D, ito whatever the value of D, lalabas dito T. Di ba? Laplace transform of T is 1 all over S squared. O, ito na yun. Ito'y lalabas na yung Laplace transform o inverse Laplace transform of a constant over S is 1. O, okay na to. Ito. S minus 1. Ito'y magiging e to the 1t. Ito yung sa A, ito'y magiging e to the negative t. I hope you can follow. No? Any questions so far at this point? Paano mo isosolve yung A, B, C, and D? Alam ko meron na tayong example na ganito eh. So let's continue. indicate ko yung value ng no, constant. If you're going to apply the partial fraction, you will find out that C turns out to be 0. Your A is equal to negative 1/2. Then, your B is positive 1/2. Then your C is equal to 0. Then your D is equal to 1. Tingnan natin kung ano magiging effect. A is negative 1/2, B is positive 1/2, C is equal to 0, D is equal to 1. Let's see the effect. Is equal to 1. Ano yung unang term natin? E to the T. What is the value of A? Negative 1/2. Pwede natin factor out yung negative 1/2. Ano? All over S plus 1. Then plus linearity property, no? B is 1/2. S minus 1. Then your C 0. Then your D is equal to 1. Okay? Integrable na yan. O pwede ba nating i-combine yung A and B? Tingnan niya natin para baka mas simplify pa. Ano? One half is a common factor. Pagka pinactor out natin, ito yung magiging negative 1 all over S plus 1. Then you have here 1 all over S minus 1. Ilan? Pagka kinuha natin yung this common denominator, magiging S squared minus 1. Ano ito? Negative what? S minus 1. Meron ba magko-combine? Negative S, positive S cancel. No. Meron pa tayong 1/2 dito. Negative S, positive S cancel. Negative 1, negative 1. Ilan? Negative S, negative S. Tama ba? 2, ano? Cancel yung 2. So, ito yung magiging plus the inverse Laplace transform of 1 all over S squared minus 1. Okay? Then, minus or plus. Plus ba ito?
Sir, hindi po ba dapat 2 over S squared minus 1 po?
Multiplied by 2 eh. Di ba? Tama, you have there 2. Negative 1 is positive 1 plus 1, 2. Multiply natin ng 1/2. Magka-cancel yung 2. 1 na lang. Okay?
Okay po, sir.
Tama, sa haba ng solution, ano, na minsan meron tayo na-overlook na ano. Okay? So, by the way, your D is negative 1, not positive 1. So, D is negative 1. So, with D equal to negative 1, the effect is it's not positive. Negative 1 yung D. So, you have the negative, negative, negative. So, this one is also negative. Ay, hindi ba pwede na sa ano yan? Meron na tayong equivalent dito. Ano? Pwede na sa table ito eh. Maiko-compare na natin eh. S squared minus A squared, A over S squared minus A squared. This is hyperbolic sine of 80. With A equal to 1, you have here hyperbolic sine of t. Then, anong inverse Laplace transform ng 1 over S squared? That is t. Actually, pwedeng hindi nyo na i-simplify ito eh. Yung kinuha ko yung least common denominator, 1 over S plus 1, pwede na yan eh. Anong lalabas dyan? That is what? E to the negative t. Theorem number 2. First shifting theorem. Then, what? Ano? 1 over S. Diba? It is 1. So, meron kang e to the negative t. Yung isa naman, magiging ano, mayroon kang e to the positive t. Tapos, divided by 2. Negative. Yung negative 1/2 yun eh. So, you have the e to the t, e to the negative t, divided by 2. That is defined as hyperbolic sine of t. Pwede yun, no? Ulitin ko. Dito sa part na ito, inverse Laplace transform of negative 1/2 over S plus 1 plus inverse Laplace transform of 1/2 over S minus 1, you can have the transform directly. The inverse transform is negative, negative e to the negative t, then the other one, positive e to the t, then divided by 2. And that is actually hyperbolic sine. Sige nga, isulat ko. Balik ako dito, no? Balik ako doon. So, y a function of t, we have the e to the t. Then plus, tama, factor out ko na yung 1/2. Minus 1/2. The inverse Laplace transform of S plus 1. Then plus, we have 1/2, the inverse Laplace transform of 1 over S minus 1. Then, minus. Dito pwede na. So, e to the t, ito'y magiging minus 1/2, no? Pwede mong gawing ano ito eh, inverse Laplace transform of 1 over S, but take note that your S is actually S plus 1. Then, plus 1/2, the inverse Laplace transform, S na lang, but actually, your S is S plus 1. Then minus, ito pwede ng direct eh. 1 over S squared is simply T. Ano ito? Minus 1/2, 1 over S, kaya lang, S is S plus 1, meron kang multiplier na e to the negative T. Tapos ito, magiging 1/2 e to the positive T. Then identity, e to the T, pwede mong i-factor out yung 1/2, no? Pwede mong factor out yung 1/2. Ito yung magiging e to the T minus e to the negative t divided by 2. And this is the definition of hyperbolic. Magiging hyperbolic sine of t minus 2. Pwedeng ganyan. Okay na? Any questions so far? So again, pagdating sa control system, puro ganyan gagawin nyo. Solution of differential equation. And you have to apply the modern approach, Laplace transform. Kasi ang kukunin ninyo dun sa control system is the ratio of output over the input. So this will be the output, yung right side, yung input mo, yung left side. When you take the ratio, then you have the mathematical model for the system. Halimbawa, ganitong problem, yung aircon, gagawan mo ng mathematical model na pagka bumaba ang temperature sa ganito, paano magpa-function yung thermostat, paano magpa-function yung system at any time t. Gagawan mo ng mathematical model. No? So, ganito ang magiging solution. Screenshot na ninyo. Yung assignment huwag niyong kalimutan. Screenshot na ninyo. Problem set 6.2, page 216, all about theorem number 3.
Sir,
Yes.
yung sa problem set po, sir, magpipick lang po kami ng 5 questions po.
Oo.
Sige po, sir. Thank you po.
Pero kung gusto niyo sagutan lahat, mas maganda. No, if you have time.
Sige po, sir.
Paki-screenshot na. Next. Yan niyo sa Dropbox sa open na yung Dropbox. Anyway, hindi pa naman ito ngayon masosolve. Basta maglalagay akong Dropbox. Doon ninyo iyan. No? Ha? Lahat ng problems doon. Pati yung mga unang requirement, doon na rin ninyo ilagay.
Sir, question po ulit, sir.
Sige, go ahead.
Sir, yung may pinapapasa po kayo sa amin na sinabi niyo po is compilation of problems, sir. Is go pa rin po ba yon?
Ito na yung replacement noon. Diba,
Hindi na po kami compiled?
Diba sabi ko noon, 3 problems per topic.
Yes po.
Nakakita ako ng libro na pwede natin gamitin kay Crazy. So, doon ako ngayon kumukuha ng mga problems. Yun na yung equivalent.
Yung mga problem set po, sir, na sinasagutan po natin is na po yung replacement.
Yun na equivalent nun. No?
Sige po, sir. Thank you po.
Unless na yung topic na diniscuss ko ay hindi ako nagbigay ng problem set. Yun na lang ang hahanapan ninyo. Pero halos lahat naman meron
Yes po.
Yun na equivalent.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay na? Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hello, sir.
Any question?
Wala naman po, sir. Gets naman po.
Sige. Charlie?
Yes po, sir.
Any question?
Wala naman po, sir.
Dali lang,
Siguro po, aralin ko pa po ng mas po. Pero gets ko naman po yung discussion niyo po.
Yung procedure, Kasi may procedure kang susundin
Yes po, sir.
I-refer mo dun sa table, na nakakasunod kayo doon.
Opo, nakasunod naman po. Mas aaralin pa lang po.
Then, Mike, parang ngayon ko lang nabasa yung ganitong pangalan. Then, Mike Allen Mapa. Hello. Hello, then, Mike. Then Mike. So, wala ito. Baka naligaw lang ito, ano, si Den Mike. Kaklase ba ninyo ito? Then